back to Devils United. We'll be doing a preview for the biggest game in the Premier League, Manchester United versus Liverpool. I've got two great Liverpool fans who are also my friends, of Jack and Doug. Jack, how are you?
Not too bad. Thank you very much for having me on. And at least I've got Doug to back me up on this episode. But yeah, thank you very much for having me on.
I just thought to myself, I didn't really need backup. I can just fend for myself against him.
You've got Casemiro now. We can play DM. So
True. Doug, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Maisy. Thank you very much for having me on, and it is a pleasure. How many are you away from 2K now?
I've got 100. When I last checked, I had like 110 left.
You'll get there very, very soon. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's going to be an interesting one because it's El Relegationo, as we like to call it.
6 points already this season. Yeah.
At least you still got 2 more points than me. That's a bonus at least. But Tom in the chat, he's already gone for a 3-1 win for Liverpool, so that's not promising signs. Ravi's in the chat. Hey there, Ravi. Up the Scousers, boo. United. I have to say United because he puts a Y in it. Unfortunately, it brings me my ank out of me. Hey there, Matthew. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Casemiro, Fabinho.
I'd agree with that as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. At least that's a good sign then. We don't have to disagree on something, but Fabinho for me, he probably is the best defensive midfielder in the league, in my personal opinion anyway. Vincent, hey there, Vincent, gone for a 9-0 for United. I can only dream that could happen. But we'll start with the season because we've both been pretty poor. And I'll go with you, Jack, on what do you think of this season so far? Why do you feel like it hasn't gone as planned?
I was speaking to you about Monday night. One of our big summer signing got sent off at a head button. And you warned me tactically before the season started that Liverpool could have slight issues. I know we got the Núñez started quite well against City in the Community Shield, but it's been quite frustrating. Obviously, everyone watched the Crystal Palace game. Palace, obviously, us not having Joel Matip or Joe Gomez to start that game. Obviously, the pace in which Crystal Palace did expose. We're creating chances, but we're just not putting the ball in the back of the net, which is the most important thing. We've, as Doug spoke to Doug over the last couple of weeks, we're getting into areas, but obviously with Sadio Mane, yes, you can talk about him going and that, but he was always the man that you could always rely on. Even if you are playing bad within a game, it'd always be that type of player to really stand up and put the ball in the back of the net. But Luis Diaz as well, great goal. I think he's still acclimatizing to life in the Premier League. The language barrier, I think, will still be an issue. I think me and Doug spoke about last week in terms of the communication aspect down that left-hand side for Liverpool when Robbo has been playing. I think it was very evident against Crystal Palace that the understanding and the communication aspect, Robbo wasn't really, as Liverpool and City, as we all know, like to push their full-backs out wide, but Robbo in recent weeks has been a bit more reserved in terms of his attacking, but mainly just struggling maybe to put the ball in the back of the net. We're getting in chances, but not in clear cut. Whereas City can more or less slice a team open. If Thiago's not on the pitch, Liverpool really struggle really to create from a central midfield position.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Doug? Where do you think this is all come from for you?
To be honest, I think it's been a bit like last season. Our form at the back at the end of last season wasn't great, and it's kind of sucked into this season as well. But obviously, you go to the first game against Fulham, and it's like the first newly promoted side you play, and you know that they're going to be up for it because it's the first game. They played amazingly. I have to say they played really, really well. They caught us on a couple of occasions, and I think as well, like that Palace game, like everything was going well for the first 25 minutes. We absolutely dominated the first 25 minutes, and then just one counter attack from like Maisy to Zaha, and Zaha's away, and he puts it away. It's a very, very good finish. But yeah, we're just not scoring goals at the moment. And when we're going into the box, we're either trying to just try and get the perfect goal, or we're just not doing well at all. But it's still a very, very long season. And, as I say, nothing's won in August. You can lose things in August, but nothing is won in August. But I think what I think is happening this season, we're in our uncharted territory. We've got a World Cup in November. So I think as well that it's very unlikely a team is going to be unbeaten right up until November. I'm going to say this now. I think every team is going to drop points. I think there's going to be a couple of games this season where you get very, very unexpected results. Maybe next week, for example, like Crystal Palace going to the Etihad, maybe Manchester City will probably lose that. Maybe this weekend Newcastle beat Manchester City. You're going to get some games that are going to be very, very unpredictable. So I think because it's a World Cup year, I think you're going to get more injuries. I think you're going to get more players involved, unfortunately. And I think it's going to take a bit of time to get up to speed, because I think we return after like Boxing Day or something. So again, uncharted territory, having a World Cup in November. And, I know we can say that Qatar playing in the summer, you'd be playing about in 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's like ridiculous anyway. But obviously when you go to November, 20, 30 degrees, humidity, it's going to be very interesting from now until November.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with that, to be honest, because especially when you're going to look at squad depth, I think that's going to play a big, massive factor into this season coming ahead. And you look at the likes of, for instance, Man City, their squad depth is huge. So even if they didn't play, for instance, Erling Haaland, Phil Foden every single week, their B team who's on the bench, that could even be a top 4 team. That's how crazy their squad depth is. And I think with Nottingham Forest, they've kind of in a way done a thing right by getting these 16 signings, as much as it's a gamble, but they've got that squad depth there for injuries, for that squad depth there for the World Cup as well, because I think even in the World Cup, people are going to pick up injuries, and it's going to be a big, massive worry for those who are currently not got that squad depth, what we do really need. Because you look at, for instance, Man United, the midfield is, I'm not going to go there, but
similar to ours anyway.
Yeah, you've lost some injuries. You got some injuries already on Thiago.
Everyone's injured, like literally.
Yeah.
I think it was Curtis Jones is out for Monday. Obviously, Dougie don't help me here. Jota's out. Obviously, Firmino's touch and go, and I think it was rumored.
He is back. He is back in training, I think. So he should be available.
Yeah. So we've got Thiago mainly is out as well. A couple of key, obviously Nunes he's sent off, so he can't play. I don't know why I've done the sound effects. And I think obviously Thiago, the main key areas.
I think the only other injuries I can think of is Ramsey and Konate.
Ramsey, yeah.
How did Ramsey get injured? Because didn't you recently sign Ramsey as well from Aberdeen?
Yeah. Apparently he's had a niggling thing since he's come to the club, so I don't know if that sort of reoccurred again, but it's a strange one. It's a very, very strange one, but hopefully we'll see him very soon.
I was going to say it's quite weird, just because he would have passed his medicals, of course, at Liverpool, and to get an injury, because I didn't even see him in pre-season. I don't think so. It was very, very odd.
No, I don't think he played Jack.
No. I don't think he could get a visa either. To fly over wherever we're playing anyway, in the Middle East, in Asia anyway. Sorry, but yeah, it's
Singapore.
Singapore. It's not ideal, especially as everyone knows. You've just been speaking about squad depth, Maisy, and spot on. Liverpool, there's going to be a lot of surgery this season. Our whole fan base, especially if you look on Twitter, is crying out for the midfielder. I think all of us do agree, but as Jurgen Klopp said in the last couple of seasons, he'll only buy the right player. Similar with Van Dijk, who spent a lot of money, Alisson, a lot of money at that time, and he grew into the players in which they were. But there's not really a lot of options at this current moment in Europe, because I think when you look at City's, the way their midfielders age, and I think Gundogan's entering the last year of his contract, and Liverpool are losing 3 senior midfielders, Milner at the end of the season as well, Ox, thank God he's going, and someone else in it, Doug, there's another player, Naby Keita potentially as well. Yeah, and Thiago's got 2 years left, so not this season, but next season, he'll if he doesn't sign a new contract, he'll be gone as well. So, yeah, and Liverpool's weakest area in our team, and as everyone knows, even in Europe, is our midfield. Obviously, we've got such great defenders, and obviously attacking players. But if you look to isolate, and as Doug alluded to, Fulham, if Liverpool aren't on it, and a team, not many teams can do it, but it's. You can outrun this Liverpool midfield in certain games if they're not on it.
I guess that's why why you probably wanted Núñez from Sporting for that little bit of security in the midfield.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a fantastic signing for Wolves, and obviously me and you have spoken a lot about obviously Núñez, and I think he is a very, very good player, and I think Wolves have managed to get a very, very good deal. Obviously, 38 million when they've just got 44.5 million for Morgan Gibbs-White, which is just the world's going crazy. We're getting into that stage where it's like silly season now. You're going to get like the last 2 weeks of this window. I think Man United and Chelsea are going to probably be the biggest spenders because obviously Chelsea. I think Anthony Gordon can't stay on his feet as much.
Not even worth 20 quid, that kid.
Obviously, you're getting Casemiro, which is, let's be honest, a fantastic signing. And you're probably going to get Anthony as well. Pricey, but much needed as well. But is it too little, too late? And you'd be wondering why you've not actually done these deals earlier.
Agreed. I completely agree. And I think the problem is that we've spent too much waiting for De Jong. Everything was just about De Jong, wanting to wait for De Jong. And I said it weeks ago, if we're not going to get this guy, because I don't know if it was... You've heard loads of rumours. I don't know if it's because of De Jong. I don't know if it's because of Barcelona. It's one of the two, because Man United was happy to sign him. So there was clearly something wrong at that side, if it was the player or the club. And it was just a whole mess around. And because that was who Ten Hag wanted, and he's so adamant, he was so stubborn, this is the man I want, it was like, right, okay, we're going to leave all our eggs in one basket. And we shouldn't have done that. We could have got Anthony originally for 40 million. But because we said, no, we're not spending 40 million, they put the price up to 80 million.
That's just... I don't get your scouts sometimes, and I don't get the people running the club. Yes, I know. Obviously, big concerns. Obviously, the Glazers, and obviously they're the big problems. But I obviously look at the top. Richard Arnold. I don't think you could trust him with a barge pole. John Myrtle. I don't think you could trust him either. So I think Man United have got big problems, and it's not just because of obviously like the Glazers. I think this just goes from the very, very top. Yeah. And the amount you've been paying for players like is astronomical, and your wage structure as well. Like, geez, those like you need somebody to just take a list of the actual players who are on so much wages and just give them pay cuts because.
It's going to be a nightmare getting them off the wage bill, Doug. We had it when like it's one thing signing these players, but getting them off the wage bill. And David Gill wasn't he used to be your old chief executive or someone running the club? When he under Fergie as well, and since he's left, obviously Ferguson has been a massive gaping hole. And for some reason, obviously Ed Woodward become the head of recruitment or whatever department he was in. He stepped in, it's like he was going to a job that we've got no skill set really for. It was a rabbit in a headlights in reality, but yeah, he's spot on there, Doug. It's going to be mad.
I mean, I look. Obviously, this is obviously taken from Twitter, but obviously, like Ronaldo's on £515,000 a week. David De Gea 375,000. Jadon Sancho 350,000. I think Casemiro is he going to be 350,000 as well?
Yeah.
Varane 340,000. Anthony Martial who has been like out on loan.
250 or something.
250. And then you've got like Bruno, Marcus Rashford, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, and Christian Eriksen in that sort of. Well, Bruno Fernandes is 240,000. Yeah.
He had a recent pay rise, Bruno Fernandes. I think after his first year, they give him a pay rise because he was on something like 100,000. And I think a lot of people were saying, like, because of what he's done at the club at the time, because he was the one who helped us get to third and to get us to second. People's like, this guy should be getting a pay rise. And ever since he's had a pay rise, he hasn't been the same player.
This is the thing as well. Like, you're going to have a big problems like getting some of these like off the beach. But like Eric Bailly, I believe, is what about like Marseille. Like if you get him off the beach, that's like another 80,000 taken away. When are you going to get rid of Phil Jones? Philip Anthony Jones. Like honestly,
poor fella. Like at least he tries. Something that a lot more than some of these United players have done.
I will give that about Phil Jones. He does try.
He does try, to be fair.
Yeah. And I will respect him for that because he's the only one at that club where I can look at and go, he does make the effort. He was so excited, jumping with joy and stuff, coming on the pitch for the first time since 2020 against Tranmere Rovers. And he actually played pretty well. He did play pretty well. But the thing is, it says a lot for me, especially in the Ralph, when Phil Jones is making more appearances than Eric Bailly. And that raises me alarm bells about Eric Bailly. I like Eric Bailly the way he is. But he's very demanding, saying, I want to be playing. What gives you the right to think you should be playing when you get injured every couple of games? And
exactly like Naby Doug.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Naby Keita could get injured having like toothache or eating something with like a fork and knife. He's just
going up the stairs.
Or hitting a blade of grass or going up the stairs or basically getting injured, like waking up in bed or something. Like the amount of injuries Naby Keita has had is ridiculous.
Do you want to know who's got the lowest wages at Man United?
I'm going to guess Brandon Williams.
One of the youngsters, I'd say.
No.
McTominay?
Yeah. McTominay's got the lowest wages at Man United.
McTominay, wow.
Yeah.
That's an upgrade, though.
Hannibal Alanga had more wages than Scott McTominay.
Wow.
That says a lot, really, and he's a starter. Even though he's a crap starter, he's a starter.
McTominay to Casemiro, Christ. You won't see a bigger upgrade in the Premier League for a very long time.
We'll quickly go through some of the comments. Rather, I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game, but Liverpool will win 3-1. Very generous, I must be honest.
Hey there,
I like coffee. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in.
I like coffee.
Red Devil Studio, hey, thanks for tuning in. Hope you're well. Only if Casemiro is available for this game. Yeah, he's waiting for his visa.
Virtually impossible for him to be available for this game. Because obviously he has to wait for a visa. As well, I think that takes like a couple of days or something to.
I bet it'll be like do you like how they done with Varane, where they like showing him off with his shirt on against Leeds first game of the season? I bet they'll do that against Liverpool. So then everyone's like, oh, empty Old Trafford. People will come and go, oh look, Casemiro's been announced.
Casemiro. It's gonna take another 2 weeks for him to get past Manchester Airport security and everything. His baggage is still being the holding cell. Like, all my mates have been trying to go through Manchester Airport over the last couple of weeks.
I need to do know a Man United woman player signed Nikita Paris. You might know of her from the Euros. Yep. But anyway, she signed for us and she lost the baggage. And before she got announced, she put on her social media, does anyone know anyone who works in security at Manchester Airport? And it all blew off because people went mad because she announced herself before the club announced her because she lost the package.
I mean, I could talk to you about baggage at Edinburgh Airport, but I'm not even going to because it's actually quite sad what's actually happened at like airports, etc. Like you basically go through security when you like come back or border control, I think it's called, and you just see the amount of empty, like you might see like the amount of suitcases that are just left. It's really sad, but this is the Nikita Paris thing that was hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
I felt sorry for her though in a way because everyone was full on trolling her for it. I felt bad, but it was funny when she announced herself though. It was pretty funny. I like coffee. Ronaldo, Varane, Casemiro at United. Next, Benzema, Courtois, and Vinny Jr. It's a dream. It is a dream. Instant upgrade, and maybe we might get some good saves of Courtois and like De Gea. I see you you need another United fan. You're outnumbered. Not a fair fight. I've got two. Two of me. I'll be fine. Question for Maisy: which players at United are showing more forms than others? That's a good question, and
Eriksen.
I look at that. I would say Eriksen as well, because I look at everybody else and think there's no one there who I can look at specifically say apart from Eriksen who is really trying. Martinez has been on and off, but he's shown good spells, but then there's been some sloppy spells. Not going to go into Delo because I'll have a 10-minute rant. Malacia, he's looked good. I've really liked the look of Malacia at United. I think he should be starting. Fred hasn't been there for me, and I've shown myself right when I said Fred is even crapper without Scott McTominay. It's shown against Brentford. Sancho wasn't pre-season Sancho. Martial's injured, so that's not great.
Shock.
So, yeah.
Where's Sancho playing then if you're making bids for Anthony?
I think what will happen is Sancho will play on the left and then Anthony will play on the right.
Yeah, that makes sense. He played mostly on the left at Dortmund, so I think that makes complete sense with obviously Anthony potentially coming in.
Definitely, and I think it'll work a lot better because the rest of I think Alanga's too young to be thrown into that squad, and I even said that last season. He's far too young, and it is getting shown for it that he does get bullied quite a bit. And Rashford, he's on his final season now at United, and I've said that we need to sell him on or get rid of him in January because I don't think he'll sign a new contract with the way things are going. And people saying, let's give Rashford another chance. Another chance for what? To let him go on a free?
Yeah, Rashford's form has just completely dipped. Like, I've never seen someone lose their confidence as much as he does. Although, actually, there is obviously a player who's obviously just gone to Turkey, Dele Alli. Like, I've never seen like a fall from grace like he's done.
Yeah.
Like, and this is the thing as well. Like, I think Marcus Rashford could probably do with a move to sort of get his career back on track. I think he's been kind of stop-start a little bit because. Let's be honest, I think you will agree with me in this one. Ollie overplayed him to the point he was about to get injured. Yeah, the point he was about to get injured, like he had that big back injury, and then I think he had it was an ankle injury, and he just kept playing him, and it's like, why are you playing him completely every time when he was injured? And unfortunately, I just don't think he's actually recovered from that actual big back injury.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that completely. I remember when he had that back injury, it was against Chelsea before COVID, and he just hasn't seen that same player again. Even though he had the stats up there, he just didn't have that IQ on the pitch, what we have seen of Marcus Rashford in the past. And I do really think he has been overworked, but under the same breath, I think he thinks that he's undroppable. Where he thinks, well, I should be starting here at Man United. Like, who's better than me in this position? I think that's what seriously is in Rashford's head as well.
Yeah, and it actually makes me think now, with obviously Casemiro coming in, that I actually think your strongest midfield going forward is probably Casemiro, Fred, and Eriksen.
Agreed.
And I think Bruno Fernandes should be dropped because I think Bruno Fernandes is just, his form is dipped.
I coincided with Ronaldo, though.
Oh, yeah.
Bruno and Ronaldo on the football pitch. Bruno, before Ronaldo coming, was superb, but both of them preoccupy the exact same space. And I think they get away with it in Portugal because there's a lot of different options, obviously Jota as well, and other players. But I think if you get rid of Ronaldo, I think you will see potentially the best out of Bruno. Because he should be the captain of Man United. It's like not many players, when I watch from an outside point of view, and Doug as well, we spoke about this, though, and you look at the United team, and similar with Phil Jones, even when he was lining up a couple of months ago, he was the only one. But you can tell a lot from body language in terms of whatever. And yeah, some of those players just it's like they're happy to take the paycheck and just it's even Rashford as well. But there's a lot of different factors. Rashford's still 23, isn't he? Is he?
He's
23,
still young.
24?
Yeah.
So like it's madness. But I think he's played as Doug's alluded to too young anyway. Like you've seen it with Michael Owen when he come in based on the scene with Liverpool and certain players. But Rashford's form did coincide with the fall of United in recent times. He burst onto the scene and then he's basically no wonder he's done his back in. Him and De Gea have carried Manchester United on their shoulders for best part of like a couple of years now. So it's hopefully David De Gea throws the ball into the back of net this week. Yeah,
I do that knowing De Gea after what I've watched in these past couple of games. Oh, nightmares. Ravi has a question for you both. I'll go with you first, Doug, on this one. What's up with Fabinho and Robbo's form as of lately?
I think it's a case of being overplayed. Robertson hasn't had a break. He played in both Scotland games over the summer. He hasn't been given a proper break. Fabinho, likewise, he didn't really get a proper break at the end, like towards the end of last season either. So I think it's just sort of those games sort of catching up with him, I think.
Do you agree, Jack?
Yeah, I agree. But I'm wanting to see Costas, as Doug said. Doug's watches a lot of the national side as well, and Andy's been playing literally. I think when Liverpool done a statistical analysis data point last season, and the sheer amount of minutes, like they classed certain players in the red, and I think Trent and Robbo were like literally the top of the charts in terms of being in the red zone. And it's only a matter of time where we do see either Robinson getting injured or Trent if we don't rotate at the right moments. But it's a game against United. You can't really rest players because it's probably it is your biggest game on paper.
Do you remember the injury that Robbo got towards the start of last season? And, like people were saying that like Tsimikas should obviously like come in, and actually Tsimikas at that point actually did very, very well. So I'm in with you. I really want to see Tsimikas in this game. I want to see Robbo get a rest. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like this is the thing with Robertson as well. Remember the 2021 season? Well, obviously we were having a really, really bad spell. People jumped on the bandwagon that Luke Shaw was better than him. Now you can remember that. Now you can see.
Shaw had a good 6-8 months, didn't he? I think he was better than Robbo slightly at that period.
He certainly did. He certainly did. But after that, poor, and obviously now very, very poor. But Robertson definitely needs a break. But the reason he hasn't been given a break, he's Scotland's captain.
Yeah, got to play.
Yeah. It's a tough one, isn't it, really? Do you have a backup for Robbo? Or
Costas.
Yeah. I don't know why I call him Robbo, but I don't.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
I'm going to, if I edit this video, I might just mute myself saying that.
Just beep it out. Yeah, no, it is mainly Costas, as Doug said, in terms of the left-hand side. As we've mentioned, Calvin Ramsey, the young Scottish lad as well. It'd be madness to see him. I think he's back to full fitness now, but he's not really played many minutes, and it's asking quite a lot of the young lads. How old is he? Do you say 18, 17?
Ramsey?
Ramsey, yeah.
19.
Yeah, 19, but yeah, we've not really got a backup for Trent in reality. Saying that, whoever, for any team, if they had the player of that quality, the like for likeness, you'd be looking at you're trying to fill a valued player at 70, 80 odd million pounds. It's not going to happen. So unless we play James Milner right back, wouldn't surprise me at this race.
Oh, that won't be a good thing. Good evening to you, Andrew. I hope you're well. Good evening to It's a Couples Thing. I hope you are well. Real Madrid had Casemiro, Camavinga, Tucumende, while our team has Scott McTominay, Fred. What an deep joke. At least we have got Casemiro now. I think Scott McTominay will be dropped. That's how about Scott McTominay. I can only pray to the earth that Scott McTominay does get dropped. And I probably don't think we'll see out of him, and I think we'll probably see Fred more. I think we'll get better out of Fred because he plays well for Brazil with Casemiro. So I'll be interested to see how Fred gets on. But yeah, don't worry about Real Madrid's midfield. Ours is improved. Hopefully we'll get another central midfielder. I'm being a bit too positive here. We can only hope anyway. And we still got Donner. He's not been mentioned. Wonder why.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it says team viewer on your shirt, and he's been viewing from the bench.
It's all right. The Everton fans had a mural in Liverpool of loan players. Dele Alli's gone, and Donny van de Beek was on loan. So
they have a mural. They have a mural of Donny van de Beek and Dele Alli, who are not at the club.
What?
Yeah. I mean, do you say it to everyone? Yeah. There's a mural.
Christ, they'll be putting bloody Solomon Rondon there next.
Yeah, do have to replace it with Big Rondon, actually. So we'll everything.
I know, poor Rondon. He deserves that memorial after that red card against Brentford.
Who doesn't get one of this face? I
like Coffee has a question. I'll go with you, Jack, on this one first. Why did Van Dijk struggle against Mitrovic?
I think the whole team did. I think we all seen it. I was like, you got Mitrovic, Cruyff, and Van Dijk, and the whole team on the halfway line. And I think he was. It's as we already alluded to. It's coincided with a lot of these players. That game was atrocious, not just for Van Dijk, but for everyone in terms of the left back, the right back, hold the cohesive team unit. Anyway, Fabinho, I think, as we mentioned, obviously Casemiro, probably one of the best, and I do well at Man United due to the experience. But Fabinho, as we've mentioned, obviously with Robbo and Fabinho, both of them have been ran into the ground. But something's been off with Fabinho, and me and Doug have mentioned this, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if he needs a rest or if something's going on in his personal life. Hopefully everything is okay, but we don't know. But at the minute, when Fabinho's not on top of his game, and we know how Liverpool set up, Man City are a much more technical team. Liverpool's midfield over the last couple of seasons, it requires a lot more legs and more workhorse mentality. And obviously, sometimes within games, we need that bit more creativity like the Man City have. But when Fabinho's not on it, Virgil van Dijk is very much left exposed. And we need, and obviously the high line Liverpool do deploy over the last couple of years, it's good when we've got Canate or Joe Gomez. But if Nat Phillips, I don't think he will play against United, but if he does, then that's obviously a point that Manchester United can look to expose. So, as Doug mentioned before, it's not a fact of Nat Phillips is a bad defender. He just lacks pace. I think in zones, he's good, 1v1. But if you've got a player with pace running in behind him, he's left very much exposed. But yeah, Fabinho, Sutton's been off at the minute, and it dug over the last couple of weeks, and even the back end of last season.
Yeah. I think as well that you've hit the nail on the head as well. I think the thing about Mitrovic is that he had a very good game against Matip and he had a very good game against Van Dijk. And this is the thing, like people have been saying that Mitrovic won't score goals in this league. Well, the thing is, he hardly played under Scott Parker, which really surprised me. That he hasn't played much under Parker. So now, I think he's just out to prove people wrong this season. But no, I just think Fulham are up for it. I think they were the better team. They were definitely the better team. They should have maybe won that game as well. And you've got the how do I put it, the preseason Pirlo lapping it up in the Fulham midfield, and Pereira, who I thought was fantastic on that day. So yeah, we just didn't turn up. But I agree with Jack. I think something is wrong with Fabinho.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there will be something. If we don't turn up against Hughes on Monday, then there's going to be serious questions. As Doug said, you can't lose anything at the beginning of the season, but it's the aspirations of Liverpool is to go into every single game. And if we don't have the reaction, we did have it, as Doug said, in the first 20 minutes against Palace, but if it's we get 20, 30 minutes into against Old Trafford, the fact that Brentford scored 3-4 goals in the space of a certain periods.
And this is the thing as well. The pressure's on us. I don't think many people are expecting United to get anything on Monday. So I think the pressure's definitely on us. I think you go and I can't remember a game where I've gone into the Liverpool Manchester United game. Yeah, obviously I know the last 3 games that we've scored 13 goals past you, but I look at this game and yet we will be heavy favourites, and I don't think anyone's going to expect United to get anything off this game. So pressure is definitely on us.
I think so, because even I've wrote us off. So you'll hear my score predictions soon anyway, but I've wrote us off, that's for sure. And I think probably is more pressure onto Liverpool, especially knowing after last season the amount of goals you put past us and how well you've done as well, because you managed to get to 3 finals too. I think people are expecting you to expand upon there, to think, right, you got to the final of the Champions League. Could you get the Champions League? You was not far off the Premier League. Can you do it this season? I think it's just a lot more pressure, because you don't see the pressure on Man City to think, oh, Man City needs to win the Carabao Cup because they've already done it, or they need to win the FA Cup again, or the Premier League not forced.
They need trophies because you haven't won that many, have they? So,
yeah. I look at our squad as well. Like, you look at Manchester City and they've got obviously Rodri. And then obviously in reserve, they've got Calvin Phillips. We've got Fabinho, we've got Henderson for the 6th, but you can't really rely on Fabinho and Henderson to be sort of backup defensive midfielder. So our midfield needs a big, massive overhaul. I don't know if it's going to happen this summer. It definitely won't happen this summer. Probably next summer, but it remains to be seen. But I just think that the way that our midfield is at the moment, and obviously your midfield, basically is. I would actually say that our midfield is probably the 4th best midfield in the Premier League right now.
Ours is the 20th best.
We're very heavily reliant on Thiago and Fabinho being in form,
massively.
And
what would you say midfields are better than Liverpool's, then, in your opinion, in the league, though?
Manchester City, Chelsea. I'd even go to say
Wolves.
Tottenham, probably Wolves. Yeah, because obviously
from a technical point of view, Wolves batters everywhere. Tottenham definitely not. Fucking sorry, pardon my French. Is it Skip and Monster Munchers? Everyone calls them.
Yeah,
Højbjerg, isn't it?
Højbjerg, yeah. They've got Basuma now.
Yep.
Can't believe United didn't go for him, or a lot of the other top teams.
I wanted us to go for Spence, and I'm still furious we haven't. I wanted us to go for Calvin Phillips, who went to City, and you both knew I was an admirer.
You're a massive Calvin Phillips fan, so that must have broke your heart there when he went to City.
If anyone could say I was a stan over anything, I was a Calvin Phillips stan. That's how much I liked him. I wanted him at United, and I wanted Spence at United. It was getting to the point where I was literally saying, Spencey boo, you're coming to United, boo. And he goes to Spurs.
It's all right, though. You got Wan-Bissaka to play right back. Yeah,
I'd rather play Wan-Bissaka over Dalot. He needs shifting him. I've been trying to be an agent for Man United, working with Richard Arnold and all that, and John Murdo, talking to Barcelona, making negotiations for Dalot to go.
If you get 19 million for him, I think you valued him at that. Then
you know what? I'd even get a Kit Kat for him right now. I'd even take a Kit Kat. That's how much.
So basically, what you're saying is that you could probably drive Dalot right to Manchester Airport right now.
Yeah, I would drive him. I'd literally work the plane. I would plane him over, and then I'll drive in Barcelona, take him all the way to Camp Nou, and I'll literally say to Camp Nou, here you go, here's for Dalot, just because I am that desperate to get rid of him, and I'll say, and give me my Kit Kat, and then I'm happy.
I'm not surprised.
I would have bet that Kit Kat before. Yeah, I would have bet that Kit Kat
in the boot and say, do you fancy some squad depth? It gets to the point where I would literally rather take Tellez off loan and put him as a right back. And that's what I actually do, When I play FIFA as Man United, I literally put Tellez as a right back.
Tellez the right back.
Yeah, because I don't play either of them.
Oh dear. Yeah, to be honest, Alex Tellez is like the Brazilian version of Alberto Moreno. You just didn't know where he was going to play. Was he a left back? Was he a left midfielder? Was he a left winger? Like half the time, you just didn't know. Delo, I don't know what position he is. Is he right back? Is he right midfield? Is he centre midfield? Is he left centre midfield? Striker, right wing? Honestly.
Is it Darmian you used to have as well?
Yeah, Darmian, yeah.
Is he at Inter Milan now as well? Like
Matthew Darmian, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie me. I'm just getting horrible feelings in my stomach now.
Horrible flashbacks.
Yeah, about them flashbacks. I'm having flashbacks just of Dolo against Brighton crying inside.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Good evening, Reese. Hope you're well.
Hello, Reese.
Quality gaming coming, a mad one to call. I've already called it. Liverpool win. Ravi's in the chat also asking another question. I'll go with you, Jack, first on that. When Liverpool are doing badly, why a lot of fan base blame Henderson? I'm not calling him Hendo.
FIFA fans.
Hendo. It's difficult. Me and Doug.
FIFA fans.
Yeah, me and Doug could go on a video after and we could literally scream our heads off. But that's not our style. Certain channels do that, and obviously the negativity sells in media most importantly. And if you criticise someone, it's classed as edgy in certain quarters, really. And I've criticised Hendo, right, especially after the start in which we've had. But it's not just Hendo, but it's like every fan base. I think it was Ginny prior to moving to PSG. Now Curtis Jones has got it. Now Hendo as well. If Henderson was like Spanish or Portuguese, you wouldn't even be getting half of the stick he gets. It's because he's a lad from Sunderland who has worked his backside off to be Liverpool's captain. But it's like every fan base in it. You'd have even the Paul Pogba like brigade as well. You have sections Martial with all the avies and all the profile pictures that they hide behind like cartoon pictures, don't they? So.
What I have noticed, right? I've noticed this for your fan base and for mine. Paul Pogba fans for United hate Bruno. Keita fans for Liverpool hate Henderson.
Yeah. I don't
People
get.
told me I was like getting delusional about this, saying Paul Pogba fans don't hate Bruno. Like, yes, they do hate Bruno. I've never known one Paul Pogba fan who likes Bruno.
It's our age, isn't it? Our age of social media. It's going to be mad in the next 20, 30 odd years how social media does develop. And I think there will be, there needs to be, especially with the young players coming through now, because they're like us, they're always on the phone or depending if they have their agents. And everyone goes, oh yeah, just log off, don't look at your phone. But it's difficult when you're getting millions of messages every single week. It's impossible not to look at your phone. So
exactly. Hey there, hope you're well. Klopp is a perfect example to show best coaches still need good players. Mick Fred are uncoachable. That's nice to say Mick Fred are uncoachable. I must be honest. They're beyond help. Hey there to my dad. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Hey there as well to Static. Thank you for coming in as well. Hey there as well to Tom. Thanks for coming in. I think Liverpool will win due to United's awful start. I think the same, honestly. Don't worry. Hey there, JR. Oh no, Phillips being exposed for pace. Our defence is being exposed for a light jog.
Yeah. They're good about that, JR.
That is facts. Oh, we're really bad. We literally walk on the pitch. It's just awful. And hey as well there to Kevin. Thanks for coming in. I hope you are well. We'll wrap it up here. We'll do our score prediction. Doug, I'll go with you first for your score prediction.
3-1 Liverpool.
I'm very generous to think that you will score against us. I must be honest, very generous. Jack, what are you going to go for? You could be as harsh.
You know,
as
my predictions, Maisy and Doug knows as well. But I'm going to be nice. But I was sat on Monday night in Anfield and I was like, what is this? I went in expectations of, we're going to blast Crystal Palace away. And we didn't. So I'm going to go 2-0. I'd even take a 1-0 at this race as long as we get 3 points. But 2-0 Liverpool.
You really think you'll only score 2 past us? No, we put 4 against Brentford?
We need someone to put the ball in the back of the net. Our main £70 million striker is going to be sat in the stands. I don't think he'd be allowed even in this Buzzy Stadium.
There is actually significance to last Euro, because obviously they were wearing this shirt, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I think it's one of the best Nike shirts as well. And the 5-0 win against United last season was the first game I watched in this flat.
Lucky omens, Doug.
Lucky omens. Aye.
Go
So
on.
fingers crossed. But no, I don't see a score in 5. I think if we're lucky, I think it'll be like 3-1.
Well, I've gone for a 4-0 for Liverpool just because we're absolutely dreadful. And I think if we've conceded 4 against Brentford, it's easily going to be the same. I have no confidence.
The players have got no hiding place, have you, Maisy and Chas, as well.
Yeah.
I think that this game will be a massive indication. Not that you need reminding, but Ten Hag will get a better understanding, because there's one thing doing it against obviously Brentford and Brighton, but everyone going to that stadium tomorrow, regardless of whatever happens with the obviously protests. I think
Monday.
Catch-22, really. Monday, yeah, sorry. I don't even know my days. But yeah, there's no hiding place, but it's not like you need reminding. You know exactly the players that they're getting paid big wages, but at the end of the day, they're at Manchester United. Similar with us. Like if players don't want to come,
if you cannot get up for this game, then you should be at Liverpool or Man United. Yeah.
Shouldn't be a footballer, mate. No, it should not be a footballer.
All of them have shown last season they shouldn't be a Man United player. They couldn't turn up against Liverpool, couldn't turn up against City, could turn up against anyone.
Like I remember both games, and I felt sorry for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he was obviously like on that touchline, because he just didn't know what to do. I mean, to be 4-0, to be 4-0 down against Liverpool, yeah, okay, like you can be 4-0 down against Liverpool, but to be 4-0 down against Brentford after 35 minutes, that's embarrassing.
Well, you heard my my halftime review, didn't you? So
yeah,
you knew how disappointed I was.
It was like you had just basically given up.
That's how I felt at the time. I literally was close to crying. That's how bad I was. I was literally messaging my mates going, I'm actually going to cry at this point. I don't even know what the hell I'm watching here. I really don't.
Yeah, but no, Monday will be very interesting. Obviously, I know the big protest. Will it come to anything?
How you doing, Mark?
Mark, you alright?
Hi, Mark. Oh, yeah, I agree with Mark. Hate flip-flop fans that can't fully support a club. That's all Man City fans who used to be Man United fans.
Or Chelsea fans.
I actually know United fans who
became
a City fan when City won the league against us. Yeah, that's when they started becoming City fans. But, yeah.
They need all the fans that they can get anyway.
Exactly, they do need fans. So we'll give them a couple, it's fine. Let's wrap it up here. It's been a great show. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Jack, for both coming on. It's been fantastic. Jack, would you like to shout out your socials?
Yeah, thank you. The Anfield Road TV. I will be having Maisy on in the next 10-15 minutes, discussing all things Man United, which should be enjoyable. No, but thank you very much for having me on, Maisy. It was great to speak to you, Doug, most importantly, chat. Have a lovely rest of your weekend, and hopefully we'll just see a decent game of footy from both sides on Monday night.
Let's hope so. It's definitely been long overdue, Jack. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Doug, would you like to shout out your socials?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, Maisy, and thank to everyone in the chat as well. It's been a very, very good show. Just obviously the Dugout Football channel there. Instagram is Douglas.Horn. Twitter handle is Ernrod_1992.
Thank you both for coming on. I'll put your link for YouTube in the description below, so go and subscribe to both Jack and Doug's channels, both amazing channels to watch. I'll be next live myself. It will be tomorrow. I'll be doing a sporting watch along again. as they take on Porto. I don't think it might be 3 points there for Sporting.
That's a big... Is that the second game of the season?
It could be game of the season, yeah.
Already? Wow.
I know. And Sporting have already dropped points against Braga.
Oh, Christ. Not good.
First game of the season, they drew 3-3 against Braga.
Not too bad of a side, Braga, though, are they? They're like
No.
more or less top 6, top 5 team, aren't they? So,
yeah, they're not a bad European team, are they, really, to watch? But, yeah,
Good
Sporting
side.
watch along anyway, 8:15 tomorrow. So go and check that out. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and hit the subscribe button for both Jack and Doug. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
cheers up.
Cheers.